Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to another lecture of clinic management system. And in today's lecture we are going to discuss what is an MDI form and how can we create the user authentication window, that is the login window, and how can we create the settings window for setting up the connection string for our database every time when we install our application. So you have to think a lot before doing any task. That's why I am not going to the actual content, because I am creating in these starting lectures, I am creating the base of the software so that you don't need to have worry about the deployment and the connection strings later on when you deploy the software. Okay, so let's start and have a look how can we create these windows. Let's start. Alright guys, so that's my clinic management system project opened already. What I am doing here, I am right clicking on my project and click and add a Windows form and give here a name as MDI window. Okay, and in this window you can this is a normal Windows form. Okay, and but how can you convert it to an MDI window? But just go to the properties and go to its one property that is known as is MDI. This one is MDI container, you can make it true. So that's become my parent window. This window will act as a parent window of all my other windows that I have just created. Okay, and now on this MDI window, let's go to the properties and you can apply the icons and you can do everything, and you can specify the window state by default, the maximize the startup position to the center screen and all that. What you wish to do, you can do that. Okay, you do not add anything. In fact, you just add one thing here, that is the menu of your software. So go to your menus and toolbars and specify your menu strip here. Simple. Okay, and in this menu strip you can write here file, and inside file you can specify settings, and then you can specify logout, and then you can specify the exit of your software, and then furthermore you can specify the shortcuts. So go to the properties, make it fill. Alright, so you have to change the spelling. I have done the spelling mistake. Let me change it to this. Now it's fine. Now what you can do, you can go to your settings and go at the bottom and specify your shortcuts. Let's say for settings you can press Ctrl S. So whatever the shortcut you wish to create, you can create here. Okay, so Ctrl S. When you press Ctrl S, this settings window should appear that I will create. When you press Ctrl L, let's say, so what should happen? It should log out. So Control plus L. So let me select here L. So where is L? Let me check. It is not this. Yes, here we have this L. And now the last thing is the exit. So Alt F4 is normally the closing shortcut of the software. So you can specify that also. So Alt F4. So where is the F4 key? Here we have F4 this side. Now it's fine. Okay, so you have specified a simple quick menu of your software, and instead of this MDI you should write the text here welcome. Okay, and then save it. We will apply the icon later on, no problem. And now what you can do, you can close this window. That's it. We have to create the MDI window till this. Now what you can do, you can create a login window and a settings window. So right click on your software and add two Windows form again. That will be my login window, and click add. Right click, go to code and inherit sample only, not sample 2, because that's my login screen. So save. Look, a screen is available for you that will use as a login window. So login ... So that's my login window, and then create another window that will be known as the settings window. So add Windows form, settings window. Those who are not understanding why I am doing all these things, I repeat one again. This is the base of the software, and these things do come again and again when you go later on in this software. So because that's my setting window also, so you have to specify the sample window and save it and come here on the setting window. Look, so the setting window is now created. Now what we can do, we can add the controls. So toolbox, pick up a label, and then pick up the text boxes. So copy this one, and now this one text box is for the server from where you are connecting with your SQL. Okay, the server name will come here, and then this is for the database, and then this is for user ID, and then this is for the password. And one more thing you must take is the checkbox. So give here a name so that you can understand. So that's my data source, from where you are connecting your software. Then your database, to specify your database in this text box, then user ID, and then the password. Okay, so now it's fine. Select your things and place it appropriately, and that's my checkbox. And right here, integrated security true. Why I have picked up this checkbox, let me tell you. Because you can log into your SQL server in two modes, that are SQL Server authentication and Windows authentication. So when you check this checkbox, integrated security, then you are telling your software that you are going to log in with Windows authentication. And if you uncheck this checkbox, then you are telling your software that you are using SQL Server authentication. Okay, so that's why I am creating this. So integrated security, that's it. So now increase the size of these and place them in between somewhere. Okay, now that's fine. And then you have to pick up a button. So select that button and place it here, and increase its size and make it standard style to flat, and increase its borders, make it 2, and then the side, the text that should be written here is save, and then the heading of the window should become settings window, and it should become ... for then give the name of these text boxes. So the name of my text box is source text, that's my DB text. Okay, and that's my user ID text. So user ID text, and that's my password text. Okay, and password should become password visible. Okay, that's my integrated security, so is CB. Okay, and then that's my save button. So save button. Data source should be an IP address or should not be an IP address. So the length, maximum length should be maximum 200 characters, not more than that. Database length should be not more than 100 characters, and then user ID should not be more than 50, and the password should not be more than 50. So you have to specify these things. Now look guys, these settings should always be inside your every project, right? आप हर project के अंदर इसको करते हैं. So you have to specify your settings in every software. So you should have to create this setting module separately. Okay, just like the main class, you should have to create a separate module for this setting window, so that you can specify and save the settings. So what we can do, we can go to the project solution, and then we'll add a new project, and it should also become a class library. So let's go to the Windows, and then class library, and give here a name settings. That's it. So settings, and click OK. Look, you have a class, you have a namespace with the name setting, and I am specifying here a class name with small setting, and come inside. So that's my namespace, that's my class name. I hope it is clear to everyone. And if I go to the setting class physically, so rename it with the name setting. Okay, so now all set. In this class, what you can do, you can create the connection string in the file. So first thing that you have to incorporate here, using system.input output, okay, and then you have to check with a variable. Let me create a variable string path, okay, and specify your path. So environment, that's a class, dot get special folder, get folder path, and then it is asking me environment dot special folder dot my documents. So specify your my documents, okay. So you have picked up the path of your my document folder, and then you have to specify the file name. That should be cms_connect, okay, and right here double backslash. Now it's fine. So what will happen? You have picked up the path, you have picked up this complete path. Now what you can do, if this path exists, if let me write here like this, and if file dot exists, okay, one thing that you can do, you can create a function public void create file, and inside this you can specify your file name. So string file, whatever the name you will pass, it should be written or concatenated here. So file name, okay, what was the parameter? File. So right here file, okay. So whatever the file you will pass, now I should check if file dot exists. Cut this code and put it here inside the function, because you don't write the direct code inside the class. So if file dot exists, and where it is asking me the path, so I am providing my path. If this file exists, that means this, and if I write here if this file does not exist, okay, I hope it is clear to everyone. So if file does not exist, then what you can do, you have to create the file. So to create the file, what you are going to pass in that file. So simple, one thing that you can pass it, that is the checkbox. So you don't have the checkbox here, so what you can do, you can specify instead of specifying the complete Windows Form library, you can use integer variable, integer status, let's say. So what you can do, if status is equals to 1, if the status is equals to 1, that means your checkbox is checked, okay. If a status is equals to 1, that means your checkbox is checked, and when the checkbox is checked, what you have to do, you have to validate your controls, okay, and you have to ignore some controls. So what you can specify here to validate your controls, if now you need the main class here also. So what you can specify, using CMS, okay, it's not appearing, that means you can use directly. So if main class, no, main class is not there, we have CMS using software name should be, it's not coming. So I wanted to validate my controls, but okay, I'm not going to validate here. I'm just simply creating my Windows authentication string. So string s equals to, what you need here, double quotes, data source equals to, and now you have to pass your data source. Where is your data source? You have to specify it here, string data source. So pass your data source here, ds, okay, and then you have to specify semicolon, and then initial catalog, and then equals to, and then you have to pass your database name. So string db, and you can specify your db here, and db. Now it's fine. And now one thing that you can specify is integrated security is equals to true, and one more thing that you can specify is multiple active result sets equals to true. This multiple active result sets is also known as MARS, and it is utilized when you are executing a query within a query in C#. Let's say if one query is executing in C# and within that executable query you are executing another query, so an error will be generated that you cannot execute query within a query. So with the help of this MARS you can utilize query within a query. Okay, so that's why I have added this multiple active result sets in this string. Now what you can do, if status is equals to 1, pick up these details, data source and the database, and store it inside the file. So where is that file? So I wanted to create the file, so file dot write all text, that's a method, and specify your path, and my path is this, and what's the content? The content is in S, that's it. And then what you can specify, you can return that the file is successfully written. Okay, one more thing that you can do now is else if status is equals to 0, that means you are in SQL Server authentication mode. So copy this code and paste it here, and one more thing that you can specify here is string username equals to null. That's my optional parameter. If I will pass, the value will be passed. If I will not pass, the default value will be null. Okay, that's my optional parameter. And one more thing that I will pass is password. So password, and that should be null also. So now what you can do, you can cut this as well and paste it here, because you are writing the same whatever you will write. So based on that selection, one more thing that you have to add here is double quotes plus, and instead of integrated security true after database, you have to specify the user ID equals to, and the user ID should pass from the username. Okay, and then comma, what you have to specify, the password. So the password equals to double quotes plus semicolon, and here you have to specify the password. So you have to carefully write this whole code. Okay, so username and password. So if the checkbox is checked, if the status is 1, that means the checkbox is checked and data source will be this connection string will be like this, and if the checkbox is not checked, integrated security 1, so the connection string should be like this. And then because you have created this string, okay, cut it and paste it here, and then it's fine, and by default make it blank. Okay, and write here S and write here S, simple, so that it becomes a global scope. And now the file will be written. When the file will be written, what results it is displaying me, let me show you. It's void, so it is not returning anything. So simply you can write main class. Okay, so main class is not also coming here. What you can do after doing this, you have to write a message box. So okay, mbox. Okay, so look, system.windows.forms, cut it and paste it. Okay, and using should be there, and now you can write message box.show, and what's it saying now? Right click, does not exist in the current context, using system.windows.forms. Okay, because that's a new separate project. So right click on your references, add references, and Windows. Okay, you can specify form from your assembly and write here form. So system.windows.forms. Okay, and click OK. Now it's fine. Okay, message box is now displayed now. So which message should be available here? which okay, one more thing that you can specify, you can specify your main class in this setting class also. Okay, so yes, we can do that. Right click, add reference, and go to the browse and select your main class from desktop and click OK. So you have added your main class here as well. So when you use your main class here, look, it's not coming. We have to build it. So first rebuild, because you are creating a modular app this time, so you have to take care of these things. So main class, let me show you, using CMS, now it will appear main class. Look, so in your settings window, your main class is appearing, main class dot show message, and what you should pass, file or settings saved successfully. Okay, settings saved successfully, and then what you need, the type of the message, that is success. That's it, and then stop it. So when this function will be called, the connection string will be saved. So this is the one time work, and now you have to specify this code where? Inside your settings window, here on the save button. So go to its properties, double click inside, and come here on the save button. Okay, so you have to specify that if is cb dot checked, if is cb dot checked, else not checked. Okay, so if is cb dot checked, what you can do, you have what, let me show you, status should be 1. Okay, so create file, the name of a method is create file. So come here inside and write here settings. Okay, so for settings you have to write here using CMS, and now go to your settings, make it static, and go to your settings window and write here settings. So CMS dot settings window s dot what is the name of my method? No, that's not settings window. We have settings class only, so it should be setting. Okay, settings are not appearing here. Why? CMS dot setting, no, it's not coming. CMS dot okay, so one thing that you can specify in the reference, yes, because we are not too much in the practice of this references, so you have to add your settings reference here as well. So go to your main class, go to your CMS, go to your settings and build, and look, you have your DLL setting DLL here. Okay, so click add. Now you have added your other module here inside the project. Now when you write here setting, look, settings is there. So what you can do, you can use using settings, and when you click setting, now look, setting class is appearing, setting dot okay create file. So if that is checked, so what it is asking me, the file name, the name of the file should be cms underscore connect, and then you have to specify the status, that is 1, because for one status you have to be in Windows authentication. And now the data source, so the data source text, so what is the name of my data source text? Basically that's go to the properties and source text, yes, so give here source text dot text, and then database text, so db text dot text, and then I don't want to provide the username and password, so leave it as it is, don't provide that. Now copy this one and paste this one here. Instead of this, give this. When the status is 0, then you have to specify the db text and then the username text. So user id text dot text and then the password text dot text. I hope it is clear to everyone. So when you click the save button, based on this checked, the data will be saved inside the Windows authentication mode or in the SQL Server authentication mode. So double click here on SCB, and if SCB dot checked, then user id text dot enabled equals to false, so that user cannot be able to write anything, and the password should also be false. So password text should also be false, and then else these two text boxes should become true, so that when you uncheck the checkbox, these two becomes enable again. And also when you check your checkbox, these two should become clear also. So dot text, copy it, paste it, blanket and blanket. Okay, so that's what I have done up till now. So when you click that check and uncheck, then this should happen. Now one more thing that you can specify here is the checking of your controls that are left or not. So on save button, when SCB is checked, what you can do, you can specify that you can specify one thing, user id text dot allow drop equals to true. Why I am doing this? To make them skippable from the validation. So password text dot allow drop equals to true, because my allow drop functions will not be checked. So if main class dot check controls, and what it is giving me, the flow layout panel and the panel. So my panel name is left panel. That's my previous methods that I have created inside the main class. I have demonstrated in the previous lectures also. So main class dot items, dot count. Do we have the count? Yes, because it is returning an array list. Dot count is greater than 0. That means you have left something. So main class dot show message, and right here fields with red color are mandatory. Okay, and if this is the case, show message. And one more thing, you specify the error, and else you have to you have to cut this code. My fields are validated with this function. Okay, this particular function. Let me close this. My fields are validated with respect to this function. Now when you click this checkbox, then what will happen? If you uncheck this checkbox, then what will happen? Copy this code and paste it here and make it false, so that these controls will be validated here in this else. So copy this if and paste it here, and else inside this else you have to pass this code, cut it and paste it. Now what will happen? If the controls are not if the controls are blank, then the message will be displayed, otherwise this will happen. Okay, so on save button, after saving the file, either it is checked or it is not checked. Where you have to go? You have to go to the login window. Okay, so that's my setting window, and now you have to open your login window after saving the settings. So when you are saving the settings, then you have to redirect to your login window. So main class dot show window, and specify your login window here. So login LW equal to new login window, and LW then this Okay, so you have to you are in setting window, so you have to close this window and then mdi.activeform, so that it become the parent window of my login window. Now that's fine. So that's what I have done in the settings window. And now what you can specify, you can go to your MDI. Let's go to the MDI, and here you on load you have to specify if file control dot system.io, if file dot exists, if where the file dot exists, you should pick up the path. So string path equals to environment dot special folder, sorry, environment dot get folder path, and specify environment dot special folder dot my documents, and then select that file. What is the name of file? CMS underscore connect. Okay, and then semicolon, write double backslashes, and then if file dot exist at this path, then which window should open? What is the problem here? Okay, it should not appear here, it should come outside this. Okay, now it's fine. Remove that plus. Now it's fine. So pick up the path of this file. If this file exists, then open which window? Login window. So the code of the login I have written already, so let me pick up that code. So where is my settings window? Copy this code and go to your MDI and paste. If the file exists, then open this window. Else, which window you should open? You should open the settings window. So copy and paste, and here you should write the settings window by default. So settings, copy and paste, and that's it. And then the last thing that we should do here is the program.cs file in our CMS. So program.cs is where you have to specify in this file that your first window that should open is your MDI window. Okay, so when the MDI window will load, based on the file existence, the login window or the setting window should display. Okay, so let us check, is it working or not? Okay, I have some errors. Where is the error? No errors are displaying. Start. Okay, these are the warnings. Why the error is appearing? Rebuild the solution. Okay, the problem is still with the references that you are adding with your modules. So okay, look, that's the problem. The settings reference is disappeared. So remove it and add it again. Right click, browse, look inside settings, you don't have anything. So what you can do, you can go to your settings module, cancel it, go to your settings module and rebuild it. Okay, so you have to face these problems when you are using modular applications. So you have rebuild it, rebuild succeeded. Now go to your references and click add reference, select your settings from this DLL and OK. Now save it and run it. And alright, one thing that you should first take care is, because you are in MDI window directly, so you have to change this from this one, because you are opening only the window, you are not closing any window, so you have to specify the MDI, that's it. So mdi.activeform, that's it. So that's what the case you have to do. Copy it and paste it here as well. That's it. So save it and now run it. So the window should appear. Look, because my file is not existing, that's why this message is here. When you click the save button, it is saying that setting saved successfully and you are redirected to your login button. It should not happen. It should not be happen. The control should validate itself, and then the setting should be saved inside the my documents folder. So my documents, you do not have, look, CMS underscore connect. That means we have some errors, but today the time is about to finish, so I'm stopping here and we'll resolve these errors later on in the later classes. If you do not understand anything up till now, you can ask me. Thank you so much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.